Okay, so I truly believe that our mindset is what holds us back, that we are capable, but we hold ourselves back because of what we think. And I kind of started getting in a rut a little bit the last couple of days. And it was interesting because I have like some new people sharing and I have, things going well. And then I'm still having the same thoughts that I had when I didn't have those people sharing. But I remember before those people were sharing, thinking, if I could just get one more person to share, like I would feel good. Isn't that interesting? Like I would feel good, but then you get new people sharing and you still don't feel good. So that's like cue for, it's not the person that's joining my team that's making me feel good. You can't touch her. I'm going to have to put you down. It's not the person joining my team that's making me feel good. It's my thoughts. And we have to take accountability for our thoughts, because I have found I tend to err on the negative side. I just do. And I think most humans do. My husband told me this morning, I was talking and I didn't even think I was being negative. He's like, you're being really negative. And I was like, I am. I thought I was just spitting facts. Do you ever think that your facts are like reality, but they're really just our thoughts? So one thing that's really, really helped me is mindset work. I've talked about this a lot, but I started getting negative and I was like, what am I doing different right now that I haven't done in a while that would make me maybe spiral with my thoughts? There's a couple of things, right? Like, I'll be honest, the cold weather in January and February, I liked it for a while. And now I'm like, I really miss the sunshine. I miss my outdoor walks with the sun on my skin. Like there's things like that I'm like, yeah, I missed that. That probably did keep me more upbeat and stuff, but I'm still going to the gym. I'm still doing the things. But then the other thing was like, oh, I was doing a lot of mindset work with Emily before, and I haven't done any of that mindset work in like a couple months. And so I logged back in and I listened to a few calls, and I was amazed at how much it resonated with me and how much it made me think about the way I think about my business. Like, for example, I listened to one today while I was at the gym, and the lady was saying, I don't have control of my growth. I feel like other people control my growth, right? Like when people join my team and they become leaders, that controls my growth, but I don't have any control over my points and my growth and my rank. And I have had that thought so many times, like, I don't have any control. I have to wait for somebody to come along and get me there. Like I tend to get really negative. And though we do know that a new leader really can change your business, you are your best leader. And you do have control over what you do and think every single day and the action that you take. And I encourage you guys to invest in that, invest in your mindset, invest in getting that coaching from Emily. It is like, I think it's $59 a month. And when you refer people, you get $10 off. And I believe every month after that, you get $10 off when they continue to do it. So if you had team members that started, it's like network marketing. You have team members that start to join you listening to it. It's going to knock off some of that subscription. But and you can cancel it anytime, but I really believe that if every single week you made it a priority or maybe not even every week, maybe it was every other week or once a month, you made it a priority to be coached and really apply what she tells you, I believe that your business would grow. Somebody in there today said, since I started doing this, my income has doubled. I really believe our thoughts change our business. Okay. So there's a little bit about thought work. If you're not ready to invest in it, there's a lot of podcasts that you can do to help with that as well. I love Brooke Castillo. She's the one that trained Emily Gibson, and she's not specific to network marketing, but I still find that what she talks about really makes me think about my thoughts and about my business and about my life. And so you can always start there. Okay. So we still have 5 days left in the month. If you are feeling like it's just over and you kind of want to throw the towel in and you're like, maybe I'll earn next month's incentive, whatever, I really encourage you to go for it, to go all in, to turn over every stone, like Melissa was saying, and to do something that you've never done before. Like, or what's that one thing that you're like, I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. For me, it's going live. I hate going live. Please don't pull on that or you're going to have to get down. For me, I'm like, I don't want to go live. Does anyone ever even watch that? I don't want to do it. But then I think about some of the people online that I do go and watch even 5 or 10 minutes of the live, and I feel more connected to them because they're vulnerable and they're just being authentic in themselves. And so what's that one thing in your business that you avoid doing because you don't want to do it, but it possibly could change your entire business? Because we know that our vibe attracts our tribe, right? Who we are. And if we're never really being authentic and opening up and just letting people see who we really are, people aren't going to want to join us. So I would encourage you to do the one scary thing that you don't want to do. I missed something in the chat. Let me see. It's 11:11 just said. Okay. That was an important part that needed to be shared. Okay. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about 5 true leaders. So I've been listening to a network marketing book, and he talks about 5 true leaders. And he talks about how when he got started, he would get discouraged when he was thinking about growing a massive team that was self-sustaining of thousands of people. Like, he was like, that kind of mind boggled him of like, I don't know thousands of people. How am I going to do this? How am I going to find thousands of people? It can kind of be daunting and make you feel like you don't have control over your business. Like, I can't do that. I can't possibly do that. But then he said that somebody told him, all you need is 5 true leaders, and it changed everything for him. And so 5 true leaders are when you have 5 people that would work your business like you would work, that would treat it like a true business. Okay. 5 people that would go all the way to diamond. When you have 5 true leaders, you can walk away from your business for a few weeks on a vacation to Europe or whatever, and your business will still grow and duplicate, and you're not going to go backwards in points. Most of us aren't at that point. I'm not even at that point. If I just walked away from my business, Jess's leg would probably continue to grow, but my other legs, I don't think would at this point. They need my help. They need my guidance, right? So the goal is to get 5 true leaders, and you want them to be people that, I don't know, you tell me, what is a true leader to you? Actually, tell me in the comments. I know what it looks like for me, but when you think of a true leader, honey, please play on my, no. When you think of 5 true leaders, what qualities would you look for in somebody that you think would go all the way to diamond? Someone who is self-motivated, self-disciplined, consistent, committed, brave, inspired, humble, okay with failing, but wants to move forward anyways. Someone who has drive. These are all good. I think of like someone that's willing to do whatever it takes to succeed, right? Which is kind of like they're willing to fail, but wants to move forward. Like, they're not going to quit. They're like, hey, that didn't work. What's next, right? Someone who can share their skills and replicate it. And consistent. Yes. And they're consistent with it. Someone that's a leader, right? Someone that people want to follow. So when we're thinking about all of that, that's what we're looking for. And I know that you guys know what it is. I know that you guys see it in people. Have you ever seen somebody on your team and you're like, if she just caught the vision, she'd go to diamond, right? And we can't like convince people. Like, I've had people that I like thought for sure would be a diamond on my team one day, and maybe they will be, but they've like come and then they've gone, and you're like, oh, interesting. I really thought she would catch the vision. Or maybe she just takes the products consistently, but you just can't for the life of you get her to share, right? So we all have people like that. So when we're thinking about our business, I want you guys to think about the basics, because we get overwhelmed with nobody wants to join me. No one wants to do this business, but I want you to think of the basics, and the basics are enroll 3 people every month. That should always be your goal. And if you're not doing it, at least you're shooting for it, right? But the goal should be enroll 3 new people this month and next month and the month after. And then try to sift through those people to find your 5 true leaders. Okay. It might take you a year to find one. It might take you 2 years to find one. Like, it sometimes isn't in the timetable that we want it to be. And so, you playing with my hair. I feel like I'm nursing a baby, but he's sipping on a sippy cup. He never does this either. It's actually really sweet. because he's my last. But okay, so he used the example of if you were up in an auditorium, like a big auditorium, you were looking down at like the court, and there were 10,000 Dixie cups all upside down on the court, and you knew that there were 5 diamonds. Those represent people, and there are 5 diamonds under those cups. Would you just walk away and be like, oh, that's a lot of cups to turn over? Okay. I mean, some people would, because they don't want to do the work. They're like, that is a lot of work. Like, I already have my hands full. I have a baby on my lap and he wants to play with my hair during calls, and this is too hard. Like, there's so many reasons. There's so many things, right? But a true leader is someone that's going to turn over every single cup or every single stone, because they know that in their network, in those cups, they know that there are people that will go to diamond. And I'll be honest, even if you have 2 people that are willing to go to diamond on your team, you will be a diamond. I mean, I'm talking about 5, like you're set for life. 2 people willing to go to diamond. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's all that Christy Jex had when she went to diamond, was 2 true leaders. She had Sammy, and then she had Kimberly Greening. She hasn't even found her 5 true leaders yet. And yet a lot of you look up to her and you're like, I want to be Christy Jex. She's only turned over like 2 cups right now. I mean, she has other leaders that do stuff, but are they true leaders? Are they moving forward? Are they leading? You know what I mean? So even 2 people. Now, when you're flipping over those Dixie cups, you might flip over the first 5 and they're leaders. That's pretty rare. Some people have a network where they go to their 5 closest friends, and they're like, do the business with me. And they're like, okay, super rare. In fact, I don't even know if that's ever been done, but maybe it has. Okay. But what if you flip over the first half of those and you find 5 true leaders? That happens for some people, right? They find their 5 true leaders pretty quick. And then other people, they flip over half and they haven't found 1 yet. Because during that time, they're learning how to talk to people. They're working on getting better. They're working on their mindset. They're working on attracting people in a different way than they've ever done before. They're working on developing new skills. Okay. I feel like that's more me, because I have had to really learn to develop myself. I wasn't in a good mindset. I wasn't in a good place in my life. And like I said, yeah, it took me 6 months to find Jess that was committed to doing the business. So maybe I found my 1 true leader in the first 6 months, or the first 500 cups that I flipped over, right? But maybe I won't find my other 1 true leader until I'm halfway through. You know what I mean? Or maybe I already have her on my team. I have some pretty awesome leaders popping up that I believe could go to diamond. So when we're looking, oftentimes we get discouraged and we start flipping over those cups. And then we're like, this isn't for me. Nobody wants to do this. I can't do this. And then we just walk away and we stop. We all have heard that gold mining story, right? Where the guy was mining for gold and the vein, you know how it's called like a gold vein? He was like, I struck rich. Like, look at all this gold. And he bought all this equipment and invested in his business. And he mined all this gold, but the amount that he invested in the new equipment and hiring people and everything used up the money that he made from the first lump sum of gold. And then the vein in the mountain just disappeared. It just disappeared. And he was like, oh my gosh, where did it go? And he kept digging the same way that he had been digging, straight forward, just digging. And he couldn't find it. And he walked away and he sold everything and he gave up. And then the person that he sold it to was like, that's really interesting. Like, the vein just disappeared. Where did it go? And so he went and he asked somebody that studied rocks, like, why would a vein in a mountain disappear? And the guy was like, oh, because of an earthquake, because the mountain shifted. And so the vein shifted probably 3 to 5 feet to the right or 3 to 5 feet to the left. So start digging this way now. And then he started digging in a different way. He changed what was previously being done just a little bit, just a degree in each direction. And he found the vein and became extremely wealthy and successful with it. Okay. So sometimes we have the mindset of, I'm doing everything. I'm doing it the way that I'm supposed to do it. I'm digging straight forward. And sometimes we just have to like tweak that degree just a little bit, change something, try something new that we've never done before. But when we give up, we are certain to fail, right? So there are 5 people either in your network now or that will be in your network if you continue to dig for gold. Okay. There are 5 people in your lifetime that you can and will find if you continue looking, that will be 5 true leaders that will set your family free for the rest of your life financially, and that will help you impact countless lives. And you just have to find them. Okay. So when you think about the thousands of people that need to be in your network for you to be diamond, I want you to think of 5 people under you. And if all 5 of those people find their 5 true leaders, you now have 25 true leaders that are going to go to diamond. 25 diamonds on your team. Can you fathom that? That's the power of duplication, the power of 5. And so many times we're like, nobody wants to do this with me. And I'm like, can you dig a different angle? Can you change like a little bit this way or a little bit that way, or try something you've never done before? Because that is the power that network marketing has. And we know it's not just about the money. We know it's about the impact, right? We know it's about the lives changed. Because I have had women on this team tell me that this is like saved their life. It's not just about the money. So I don't know. This gave me a hope, because I too, even as an emerald, sometimes think, where are my 5 true leaders that are going to fly to diamond? It takes work. It takes developing. And sometimes those 5 true leaders, they don't even know that they're capable of being a true leader yet, because they need to be developed and cultured and loved and shown the possibilities for their life. I know that when I got started, this is going to make me emotional. When the first time that I got together at an event with Katie, who I didn't know very well, and I met Christy Jex, and they believed that I was a true leader. I didn't see that in myself. They saw something in me that I didn't know I was capable of, that I didn't believe in myself. And so your true leaders might not know that yet. They might be at a low point in their life. They might be at desperation in their life. And that's probably what will drive them to be a diamond, by the way. Most of you are at desperation or have been at some point, and that's why you're here. But you've got to develop those leaders, because even though they could be a true leader, they might not even see that in themselves. So it takes massive vision on your part to be able to identify who your leaders are. And you guys already told me everything that you look for in somebody. But just know that your truest leader might not be resembling those skills of a true leader right now. And that is why we have to dig and sort through everybody, and not just the people that we think can do this. Because I didn't think I could do this, right? How many of you thought, oh, I'm going to be a diamond one day? Nobody thinks that. Some people do. It's pretty rare. But so I want you guys to drop in the comments, what do you think it takes to filter through and sift through leaders to find your 5 true leaders? What do you think it takes? Because I know oftentimes we look at like an influencer who, yeah, could do this, but it's like, we think, oh, if they just did this, oh my gosh, I would go diamond so quick. I've thought that so many times. I have a friend that I've been culturing a relationship with that has like 350,000 followers. I'm like, if she freaking did this, I would be diamond in like 2 months, right? But that might not happen ever. I know that, Emily Gibson always says, I got to diamond with moms that stayed at home that had hardly any followers. You don't need an influencer to take you to diamond. The power of a mom on fire with vision, in desperation, that wants to change her family's life, those moms change the world. They can grow an account that has 100,000 followers. They're just not there yet. So what traits are you looking for to develop as a leader? Or I'm saying, you don't have to see that they're a diamond now. They might not be a diamond now, but like, what can you do to start sifting through those people? Oh, Mary, you are so sweet. Nicole, you've done the same for me. That's why I haven't given up. I'm still trying to see myself as a true leader like you see me. Yes. I truthfully believe that you guys are all capable of it, but some of you just don't believe it yet. So you haven't quite taken off. You haven't like exploded yet because deep down you don't really truthfully believe that you're a true leader. Maybe Jess could share. I know that Jess has shared this before. There was somebody at Emerald or that became an Emerald. I think it was shared at Emerald Extravaganza. She's Black woman, and she like, they wrote her name in the sand over and over, and they were like, we think you could be a diamond. And she like didn't go, and she didn't go, and she didn't go. And then all of a sudden, like something clicked in her and she like flew to Emerald or something. Isn't that right, Jess?
Yeah, she told her sponsor, who was a diamond at the time, like, no. She would write her diamond, would write her name in the sand every single year. And one year she's like, you know what? I can do this. And she only had a few hundred friends on Facebook, and she went Emerald in 8 months. And I want you guys to know too, like, as Nicole's talking about this, I can actually relate with this a lot, because for a long time I was scared of losing followers, and I only had like 600 followers right at that time. And we grew to Emerald. Our team grew to Emerald with like 612 followers on my Instagram account. And that's solely where I posted. But I also want you to know, I have a level 1, you guys, that has 260,000 followers, and she's shared multiple times and only has like 2 retail customers. So even finding someone that has a lot of influence doesn't mean anything. It's all about how you're building your community, your trust, your connection, your love, your support with your people, and pivoting. And I don't know, Nicole, do I have time to hurry and share a story? So I want to talk about what she had talked about. So how she was like, I want you to change your mindset. I want you to change the way you're doing things. What are you doing that you haven't done yet? What are you doing to stay comfortable? And the biggest advice that I can give, looking back in my Emerald journey and having our team go Emerald, is doing the scary things, is doing the uncomfortable things, doing pivoting. Like if I had a dream teamer and I thought they were going to go to Emerald, or I thought they were going to share and they loved their results, and then all of a sudden they just like ghosted me, right? The aliens came and got them and they went nowhere. And I would have to pivot, be like, okay, it's just not her time right now. And I had to pivot. And, you know, I've been reflecting a lot this past week because my daughter's home. She broke her shoulder joint and may have to have orthopedic surgery on it. And we were in St. George for my oldest daughter's soccer tournament, and things were going great. We had the best weekend. I was in my comfort zone. Things were great. Energy was high. We were just having such a great weekend as a family. And then Sunday night hit, and I had kids puking. And we are like quarantining Avery, because I'm like, Avery's in the championship game at 10 years old. She's worked so hard for this past year. I want to get her to the game healthy. We got to stay in our comfort zone. So I'm like putting her in my room. I'm up all night with throwing up kids. I missed the morning game. It wasn't the championship game yet, but I missed the morning game. They won that game, which then put them in the championship games. Okay, so I'm still sitting in my comfort zone, but I'm a little bit uncomfortable because I'm exhausted. I'm taking care of sick kids. I'm not at home. I'm not in my like element of being comfortable in my own home with puke. Like I had to step outside my comfort level for that period of time, right? So then the championship game starts. We're a minute in, and my sweet little 9-year-old decides to do a handstand, which she has done 8 million of these. Okay, she's my tumbler. And Josh and I look over at her, and she falls wrong and lands right on her shoulder, which she has broke this shoulder 4 years ago. And we both looked at each other and knew in that moment she just re-broke her shoulder. But my comfort mind was, no, I came to St. George, and I'm going to get emotional, and she can hear me in the background right now too. I came to St. George to watch my oldest daughter go to this championship game that she's worked so hard for. I can't leave the sidelines to be uncomfortable pivoting. I don't want to pivot. I want to stay in this chair, and I want to be here for Avery. But I knew in that moment I had to pivot and be uncomfortable to take care of my other daughter who needed me the most. No one else could have taken her to that urgent care because she knew mom needed to be there. So we got up a minute into that game. We went to the urgent care. We sat for an hour waiting. I was FaceTiming Josh watching this intense game. If you guys know soccer at all, it went into double overtime and then a shootout, and they lost by 1. And I am not there for Avery, but I am sitting there and I'm looking back in this FaceTime call. This is when it hit me, you guys. And I can see my daughter in her soccer jersey on a field playing soccer, her passionate game of soccer, and I'm sitting holding my daughter. And because I took that pivot to be exactly where I needed to be, it dawned on me that because I have pivoted for the last 4 years, doing things that I never thought I would do, posting every day, posting 4 times a week of Plexus, being okay with losing followers, doing gut health events by myself and having no one show up, going to convention and meeting thousands of women. That was out of my comfort zone. Getting in front of people on stage or at gut health events and sharing my story, sweating to death because I'm so scared. Because of the pivots I have made over the last 4 years, guess what? I got to be there for my 9-year-old girl because Plexus has allowed me financially to do that. It gave me financial freedom to hold my daughter who's in pain and to watch my daughter through FaceTime. Because guess what? If I was working my nursing job, if Krista on this call, I would have not been in St. George because I would have been working. And Josh would have been alone, manhandling the vomit, trying to get Avery to her games, getting Aspen to the urgent care. Because I've made that pivot over the last 4 years, I am where I'm at today, and I know each of you are capable of making that pivot. If you're having negative feelings about what you're doing right now, you're comfortable. You're in a comfortable spot. If you're comparing yourself to a sideline sister saying, well, how come she's getting enrollments? Well, what are you doing to get enrollments? Because I see my sideline posting way more than I do. So when I start to see her enrollments come through, I'm like, gosh, how is Kim P getting all these enrollments? You guys, she's been building her foundation of networking for 7 years. I have not been doing that for 7 years. So what can I do today to start my 7-year journey? I can pivot. I can start doing lives. I can start sharing about my life. I know more about Kim P before I even met her in real person. So what are you doing to build that connection of pivoting or posting? Have you posted this week? Because if you haven't posted this week, you better not be comparing yourself to your sideline, your upline, or downline, or your friend of who got a level 1 this week when they've been posting every day. Have you gone live? Have you done a gut health event without your sponsor being there? Have you shared your story? Have you gone live and shared your story? Have you gone to convention? Have you hosted a dinner for your team, a barbecue? It doesn't even have to be like, you can just go out for dessert. What have you done to do the uncomfortable? Because I promise the pivoting that you're making today will absolutely benefit your pivot tomorrow. It will. It dawned on me this weekend in so many aspects that I was so used to feeling comfortable. This is what I came for. And then I realized, no, it's okay to pivot. Because when you pivot, those things, sitting at the Instacare with your daughter for 45 minutes, looking at yourself in that reflection of that FaceTime call, you're going to look at yourself and say, no, this is exactly what I should be doing in this very moment. I should be going live. I should be posting. I should be whatever that uncomfortable zone for you is, sharing these products or this business. If it's making you feel uncomfortable, you're doing it right. And I know that's weird to say, but now that I'm 4 years in, I have done things I never thought in a million years I would do, ever. And I'm so grateful because I've changed as a person. And I've had even my own people in my neighborhood tell me, you've changed. You're a different person. And I'm like, well, is that a bad thing? Is it bad to change? No. In fact, I feel like I've changed and only the better. Not for just for my health, my mental health, my emotional health, my physical health, but I've changed as a person. I'm more confident. I'm more loving. I'm more serving. I'm more humble. I want to be outward looking for people that need my help. And 4 years ago, I would have never done that. And if it wasn't because I pivoted, I would never be where I'm at today. So as this week goes through into the end of the month, if you have not reached your goals, if you have not hit the Lululemon card, if you have not done what you thought you would accomplish in February of 2023, what are you going to do today to pivot, to do that one uncomfortable thing for you to feel comfortable and to be exactly where you should be? That is one thing I've really recognized this last week. And funny enough, I know most of us are God girls or universe girls, whatever that higher power looks like for you. But I remember literally driving to the urgent care and I have negative feelings like, she's just exaggerating. Nothing really happened. But my nurse brain is like, no, I know something's wrong because she can't even lift her arm. Josh tried to lift it. It was not a good idea. Like I knew in my head that something was wrong. And I remember driving And I was just anxious because I couldn't be there for Avery. I knew I needed to be here with Aspen. And I'm like, God, throw me a dang bone. Throw me the bone. Where's the bone? Where's the apple on the head? Like you hear that term all the time. Like, I wish an apple would just fall on my head. What the heck am I doing? And I remember vividly when we were at the Instacare that said, this is your bone, Jess. You get to be at the Instacare with your daughter, financially being okay and not having to work 80-hour work week periods. And you get to come home, or you get to come to St. George and put your daughter in soccer, which is not a cheap sport. This is your bone, because the bone's always been there. I'm just too stubborn to look for it. So what is your bone? What is your apple that's falling on your head right now? If you feel like you have negative emotions, I want you to pivot and get under a different tree, because I promise the apples are falling. You're just avoiding them. So that's what I had to share. I am so grateful for these products, you guys. This is more than just supplementation. Everybody in this world needs what we have. And I'm not just talking health and answers to their health. I'm talking the world is financially sick. It is. When I was listening to a podcast the other day, she said, the average family should spend $100 a month per person on groceries. And I'm thinking, how in the crap could I spend $600 on groceries? I spend double that. You guys, being gluten-free, it's not cheap. Like, there's no way. I want to live a life that I financially can lift the burdens of not just my financial state in my own home, but for other moms, to provide food on their table, to provide a mortgage, to provide a car payment, to provide medical bills, to provide, what does that look like for some other mom that I keep assuming that they don't need it? A lot of people on the outside may look like they're financially set. I guarantee you they're not. Our world is financially sick, and I want to provide this for mothers, that they have more value to offer than just supplementation. So I love what we do, and I hope that you can change the way you feel about being negative about your business, about your goals, and pivot those emotions. It can still be there, just like a radio station. You can change the country station if you don't like it, which you should. I love country. But if you want to change it, that song is going to still play. Carrie Underwood's still going to play, and you can go listen to your rock music. The negativity can still be there, but you can pivot and move in a different direction and beat to a different drum. So that's what I have to share. I love you guys all. I don't know if Nicole's taking over, if Carly's wrapping it up, but.
Yeah, Carly, are you ready?
Yeah. Yep. That was super powerful though. And I have like chills and emotions that I was not planning to have. So that's interesting, but great. So I love what you guys are talking about. And I think it hits home for me because, I've shared about this before, and these are just facts, and I'm not, this is just fact. So I took about 9 months to find any kind of leader that would do this with me. I didn't even know if I had a silver until 9 months in. And it sucked so bad. And I would sit here on these calls and I would be so ticked because I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, it doesn't happen, I would just think I love Nicole and Jessica, but I'm like, it's not happening. Why isn't it happening? You hear all these things about you have to find those leaders. And I'm like, I'm not. But I also agree with what they said, which is when I really looked at what I was doing. Yeah, I wasn't doing all the things I should to find leaders. So it's true. I'm comparing myself to somebody who's doing things differently and more than I am. So then I did find a leader, and she was an amazing leader, and she brought me other amazing leaders. And that was amazing. She does not share anymore. And she's not part of the business anymore. So to me, all of this talk about pivoting, I thought I had this amazing leader that was going to take us to where we wanted to go, this huge, amazing business builder. And it just cut off like completely. And so it doesn't really matter how far you are into the journey. You are always searching for those people. You always want to be searching for the people who will do business side with you and who will be on the products. Those are two things that we just will continue to search. When my husband was in PT school, he had some really good friends, and none of them were LDS. And one of the times we invited one of the girls to come to church with us, and she came to church with us, and because we go to the LDS church, and no matter what church you go to, she said, why do you guys go to church every Sunday? Like, why do you learn about these things every single week? And I think a lot of people, no matter what religion you are, go to church often, right? And she had that thought of, why do we do this all the time? Like, why can't you just learn it and then you're done? And, you know, we talked to her about how physical therapy school is the same, right? My husband doesn't just go to physical therapy school for 2 years. And then all of a sudden he's like, great, I'm a physical therapist the rest of my life. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to learn anything else. I don't need to refresh anything else. That's not true, right? No matter what we do in life, no matter what we learn, you always refresh yourself, or every day you wake up trying to get better at something or do something differently. And it's the same way in this business. Like, we will continue to search for those leaders over and over again. We can't ever sit on our laurels, or whatever that phrase is, and just think, great, I've got my leaders, check, check, check. I never need to ask anybody again. They're going to be my leaders forever. And you're just going to be in your comfort zone, like Jessica was talking about. Like, that doesn't happen. And that's okay, because it doesn't happen in life. That's not how it's supposed to happen. And I also want you to realize that if it's not happening for you that way, that's okay. Don't think that you're not doing anything right. Okay. You have these opportunities to continue to sift through and find these leaders like Nicole's talking about. So I want to talk about a couple of things that really, I think, help ask people to share and find those leaders. Okay, the first thing is that we need to be talking to them right away about this opportunity. Probably a year ago now, we had a call with Emily Gibson, and she gave us a silver script. That's what I called it. I typed it up, and it was usually when we were talking to people on the phone, because I feel like we used to like really talk. I want to talk to everyone on the phone. It's a little bit different now because we have ShareCart and we have links that we just give people. But either way, the message is the same, that you want to get that message across, that there are opportunities to share and to have people join you. So in the silver script, when you're talking to them, I can send it to you. I won't go over it because I think I've sent it before. But if you want that again, you do talk to people on the phone a lot, let me know and I can send it to you. But it's just the idea of getting people through, getting their information and then saying, hey, you know what's really cool is that you can have your mom or your sister or a neighbor join you in this. And then that way you can have the offset of your products, and it also helps you stay on the products longer, and it's just more fun. What is something that your mom would need to change in her health or something like that? Okay. Different phrases, different things you talk to them about, whether it's on the phone or in person. Okay. I also want to tell you that when a lot of times nowadays, I am sending the link to people and they are signing themselves up. But what I do that I think everybody should do this is you still send out messages that ask people for who they know that could use these products. Okay. So in my very first message, this is from Project Broadcast, my drip campaign with my retention videos. The very first thing, I have a Google Doc that I send to people. And in my Google Doc, they can click on it. Very first message I send to them, I'm trying to find it right now. I can't find what it says. But the very first message I send to them, I am specifically saying right off the bat, hey, here it is right here. As a VIP customer, you have a referral link to share with family and friends. This journey is so much better when you have accountability partners. Studies show that when you make these changes with a few friends, you're more likely to stick with the results. I would love to help you with that if you're interested. That's the very, very first message they get from me, part of it, when they sign up for their products. The very next day, in my drip campaign, I sent another message that says, hey, again, I wanted to tell you, I'm so excited for your products to come. Your commitment to this process is awesome. Along with the support, you'll get the results you need. Okay, that's kind of abbreviating that. But then I say my second day, also having a few friends and family do this with you will increase your accountability and likelihood to stick with it and make it more enjoyable. I would love to help you with this. Who do you know in your life that could use these products and do this with you? Okay. First message, I say it. Second message, I say it and specifically ask the question, who do you know in your life that could do this with you? I have not been pushy. It's been very natural. It's just out there. And I like the second message that I actually do have a question mark on it. So it's literally saying, answer me back. Do they always answer me back? No, of course they don't. But that's just always getting that message out there. And it's helping to encourage them to understand that this is, oh, hey, yeah, I guess. Yeah, my best friend, she actually does struggle with migraines, or she does struggle with this, or she does struggle with that. Okay. Then in week 3, so I have the other where I give them their message. I give them their message with their regimen. Yes. Then we have week 1 getting started, week 2, water and pooping, week 3, hey, how is Plexus going so far? Are you noticing blank, 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 blank yet? I would love to hear updates. Then I said, you probably know as well that so many people are struggling with a plethora of health issues that these products could help. If you're interested in learning how to use your referral link again, so you don't have to try and budget in your products, let me know. Okay, just throwing it out there again. Now, that is going to everybody. Every retention video I send with this drip campaign, that's going to all of them. So I'm getting that across to every single person on the products. As you go along, the important thing is you always have to remind them that this is a possibility. Okay, that's 3 times in 3 weeks. But in between too, there's always the opportunities to ask them again about sharing, about, hey, guess what? This is coming, this is available to you. And I really like to do that because I think it becomes a very natural, undesperate thing. When I ask this, I usually ask about the shout out challenge. So I want to share with you one of my new sharers, Joannie. She has now 3 people who are sharing. Okay, she went Fast Start Senior Silver and she has 3 people sharing. I think because honestly, she's in Canada too, there's not as much of this stigma. I feel like in the US, there's a huge stigma and I don't know why. But in Canada, that's awesome. All these people are like, great, sure, I would love that. Okay, but the message, the answer is still the same. We still need to talk to people about it. And so we give them a shout out challenge. So Joannie had a friend that I sent her this message to, and she sent it to her friend and her friend posted. Okay, the message is the shout out challenge. Her person that I've been talking to as well, we asked about updates. She says, I am feeling more energy. It's really cool. That's what she says. Okay, that's your opportunity. I don't care how many times you've done this with how many people. It doesn't matter. You do it with every single person. Even if you don't know them, even if you think in your mind, you know what, this isn't the type of person that's going to share. I'm not even going to ask it. I don't care. You ask it every single person you have to ask this to. That's how you're going to turn over, like Nicole said, that's how you're going to find these leaders, every single person. So she gives me her improvement. I say, yay, Michelle, I'm so happy you're noticing these small changes already. Those are little victories and they will add up. I would recommend that you keep notes of that on your phone every week so that you can really remember all those wins. Then I say, hey, there are also so many people who feel the way you do and could totally use that natural energy boost to get through the day. Would you be open to doing a shout out for Joannie and just saying something like this? And then I sent her the shout out verbiage that we have. That's it. That's all I said. She says, yes, for sure, I can do that. Does everybody say yes? No, they don't. But are you still going to ask every single person? Yes, you are. Because they can willingly say no thanks, or they can say nothing. Either way, that's okay. But you need to be asking every single person every single time. And I think it's really important in order to find those 5 leaders is to put it right away in the message. Right when they start, they know what's coming. So they can really be thinking that whole time. My last message in the retention videos of asking if they want to use the referral link comes in week 3. So they have, I've told them right from the start. So they have 3 weeks to be thinking about who is going to need these products, especially week by week when they're learning about how it helps with sugar cravings or how it helps with weight or how it helps with migraines, because then that's like, oh, I didn't know it helped with migraines, but I do have a friend that has migraines. And so then they can be thinking the next time I ask them, yeah, I actually do have a friend that has migraines. I didn't even know this helps with that. Maybe she could use it, things like that. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that verbiage. This is something that I have had to learn a lot as I have been part of this business, but I do feel like it's changed my business a ton. It took me a long time to get to gold. And then from gold here, I feel like a huge shift has been being more comfortable asking people to share, asking people to share the results, asking people if they want to have a friend do this with them. When you can get comfortable with that and do it naturally, and make sure that every time somebody says to you, I feel awesome, I feel this, I feel that, that is so freaking great. Like, I'm so freaking happy for you. I just can't even believe it. It's so wonderful. Hey, that would be so awesome if you could share that with somebody else too, and they could feel that way too. Would that be something you would be interested in? You know, just anything you can to let them know the option that they have, and keep it very simple and basic, because last week, I know Nicole said like overwhelmed people do nothing. So if you start to tell people like, hey, you can learn an income, hey, you can have a business, hey, you can do this. Like, we don't start like that. We just say, hey, do you want to do a shout out for me? Because you're feeling that way. That's this, it just starts just like that. Just like that. So anyways, those are my thoughts and a couple of just verbiage ideas I had for you guys.
Okay, that's like perfect because Carly makes it so simple. Do you see how simple she makes it? Like she makes me feel like I can do it even. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, what could I do that I haven't done in a while that she mentioned? So Carly, would you be willing to share that verbiage, like your follow-up verbiage in the road to rank thread?
Yeah, for sure.
I
For
think
sure.
there's a few people that aren't in that thread, so I can like either add you or I can just go share it in my team thread after that. And then also there was something else that you shared that I was like, oh, could she share that? Maybe it was just your verbiage, just all the verbiage you talked about, just share examples so people can see it and copy it, because it is, Carly's amazing because she didn't want to do any of this. And now look at her. And it's just basic. She makes it basic, right? It's the basics. So the other thing that I really love that you talked about was that one person came along and joined your business, changed your business, and then kind of left, but it still changed your business. Carly still holds really, really high points every month because of that one leader who brought new leaders. So sometimes we can't control who sticks around, but they come into our business for a reason and they bring the people to us that need this, like Teresa and Autumn and other people, right? So people are going to walk away, you guys, but if you don't walk away, you'll continue to grow. I promise you that. And you're the best way to grow is to do exactly what Carly just said, is keep inviting people to share in a natural, non-overwhelming way, a simple way of you're loving your products, you're loving your results. Who do you know that also wants long-term sustained energy throughout the day? Such a basic, simple question. Or would you be willing to shout her out for that or whatever? So simple, you guys. But oftentimes we're like, I'm not going to ask her because I know she won't do it. If we have that mindset, we're going to miss a lot of the gold that we're looking for. And I believe that it's oftentimes the people that we least expect to do the business with us that actually end up doing the business with us. I was just listening to Emily, and you guys have probably heard her share the story like 5 times if you follow anything that she does, but it was a failed event that she did for a level 1 gold. Okay. Her level 1 was gold for like a year. And she did an event with her because she had a level 1 emerald quit. So she had people quitting. And so instead of getting mad that they were quitting, she goes, who can I pour into that's here? And she poured into a level 1 gold that was stuck at gold for a year with hardly any movement. She did an event for her. And I think 2 people came to the event, I believe. And one of them ended up leaving partway through for an excuse, but she really just didn't want to order and didn't like MLM. So she left and faked it. The other one that was there was already on the products, but never took the product. Like she ordered the products, but wasn't on the products because she hadn't started them yet. So she had ordered them like a month before, came to the event and said, I've done network marketing before and I got burned and I'm not interested in doing a business. I'm not going to do it again. So she straight out told her, I'm not interested in the business. I haven't started the products yet. That failed event, that girl that said, I haven't started my products, I'm not going to do the business. She ended up starting the products. And I think that was in August. She shared in, I think it was October. And she went, I don't know if I'm saying the dates right. Anyway, she went emerald in 90 days. And she said, I'm not going to do the business. So sometimes the failed event with the people that you don't think are going to do it, that aren't taking the products right, that aren't interested in the business, those are the people that will change your business. So oftentimes we look at people and we're like, she said she's not interested. She's never going to do it. I'm not going to ask her to share. Well, that was Jess. Jess didn't want to share. She didn't want a business. Think if I would have just said, I'm never going to ask her again. And I'm not going to follow up with her because it's awkward, because she told me she's not going to do it. And she told me the products aren't working for her. And so I'm just going to leave her alone and hide because she doesn't want to do it. Think if that's what I did. None of you would be here. Some of you would maybe, but do you get what I'm saying? It's like, we have to remember that like people oftentimes when they don't know what they really could be in this business, they don't know they're a leader yet. They don't know what the potential and the vision and the possibility for their life is. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know what you know. And so we have to have that bigger vision of looking for people and knowing that if they chose in, it could change their life. And we have to be more firm in that. And like, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm freaking proud of it. And I'm going to keep going, whether you say no or not. That is, oh, buddy, I know, just a minute. That is called posturing yourself. It's like, I know, I'm not going to look the whole time, just a minute. That's called posturing yourself. That's like saying, you know what, we could slay this together, but if you choose not to slay it with me, I'm going to keep going. They feel that energy of like, she's grounded, she's in this, like she's a leader, she knows where she's going, instead of like this neediness of like, but nobody wants to do it and I really need you to do it so that I can get there, because if you don't do it with me, then maybe nobody will do it with me and I'm never going to get there. Like that's like not posturing yourself. That's like negativity spewing out that you don't even think that other people feel, but they do feel. And so it's important that we draw our line in the sand and that we are like, I am going for this, whether you join me or not, because as you take that energy into your business, you are going to attract the people like Jess that say they don't want to do it and then end up freaking slaying it and becoming an emerald one day and changing your entire life and then changing other people's entire lives because they have that vision and that desire to impact others. So I love that Carly breaks it down simple. Yeah, Jess, go ahead.
Can I add something really fast? So I want to hurry and share something really quick. I know we're 2 minutes away from 2, but my father-in-law, if you guys don't know him, he is very loud and very involved with my kids' lives. He sees them all the time. We are very grateful for such a hands-on grandpa. But one thing that struck me over the last, is that a word? Okay, anyways, one thing that hit me over the last year is he takes my kids to Fat Cats all the time. And I actually hate Fat Cats. I think it's so germy. It's crowded. There's tons of kids. Anyways, my mom, if you guys don't know this, but my mom and dad are not hands-on. My parents are not hands-on grandparents. And my mom said something to me this last year that said, well, I wish your dad liked Fat Cats or we would see the kids more. And it literally stopped me in my tracks because I'm like, do you think Scotty likes Fat Cats? Do you think that Scotty would go to Fat Cats if he didn't have my kids with him? Probably not. I'd be a little creeped out if he did. But do you think that he would go to Fat Cats without the children? Do you think he honestly likes to bowl and to play arcade games? No. He goes because he enjoys it. And I want you to think of that. It's not easy for me to go live. It's not easy for me, or do I like it? You guys, there's times where I'm going live or doing an Insta story and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm sweating. This is so uncomfortable for me. Like, I don't do it because I like it. I do it because I'm making an impact. And my father-in-law does it because he's making an impact on my kids' lives. He wants that time with them. So if you haven't gone live or done a video or done something that's uncomfortable, asking someone to share or shout you out, it's not that we enjoy it either. So don't look at us and be like, oh, I wish I was Nicole and liked going live like she does. You guys, Nicole doesn't like to go live. It's scary for her. It's scary for all of us. We all start with baby steps, right? Now, the more that my father-in-law goes to Fat Cats, guess who starts to play arcade games? Scotty. Now he's playing with the kids. So I want you to know, the more you do something, you actually fall in love with it. So I want you to remember that. You may not want to do it now. You may not want to host an event because last time it didn't go well. Don't compare your results of a gut health event to mine or Nicole's, because we started there too. And even as Emeralds, I host gut health events here a lot and 0 people come. But I do it because the more I do it, the more I fall in love with it and the more that people see that. So I just wanted to share that. Go ahead and wrap it up.
I love that you said he doesn't do it because he likes it. He does it because of the impact. That's like a quote that Carly should make right now, because she's really good at making quotes from what Jess and I say. But that is so spot on, because I personally don't have in-laws or parents that do stuff and I feel like they're kind of like, yeah, I don't like to do that. And I'm like, it bugs me. It rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, do it because of the impact, do it because of what it means to the children, the people that are watching you, that you're developing, right? We do it for other people. And when our arrows are pointed out and we're doing it for other people, not for ourselves, not the like, I don't like doing it and people are going to judge me. That's doing it like for you. That's doing it with an inward focus. But when you're doing it more like, I want to impact others, I want to offer this to others, I want to show them what's possible. That is what will grow your business right there, is that mindset shift. That is that simple mindset shift of, I'm going to earn the Lulu card not because, well, I do want it, but not just because I want it, but because maybe that third person that I get this month, like it's going to change her life. Right. And then I get rewarded quickly with a Lulu card, which is really awesome too. So having that perspective, I'm going to end this call. I just wanted to answer, Melissa had asked a question. She said, I have people that say yes to, she was talking about to like shouting her out and then don't do it. How long should I wait to ask again? Okay. So I just want to share this really quick because I remember Katie asking me probably every 2 to 3 weeks, like, cause I said, yeah, I'm going to share. And then she would come back and be like, hey, are you still going to share your story? Like this could really impact lives. And I would be like, yeah. And then I would come back with an objection, like, but I haven't posted on social media in like a year. So I feel really stupid going and sharing this. And she would be like, it's okay. And then I would kind of like go post a little bit. That way, when I did post, it wouldn't be weird. And then like, she tried to help, get me to silver. She actually put 2 people underneath of me to win a challenge that I didn't really know about. She stacked, which I never do. And she never does. But I had my sister-in-law enroll and she put 2 people underneath me and forced me into silver. And I was like, wow, that was a cool paycheck, but I still didn't have the big vision. So when you have somebody go silver and then they don't do anything and you're like, I don't get it. I didn't have the big vision. And then she invited me to an event that I thought was all about the products. I did not know it was about the business. I literally was like, I really want to know what's in this stuff. If it's going to teach me more about the products, I'll go. So I went to a sleepover in Salt Lake City and I was super excited to get away from my kids. I hadn't done anything away from my kids in a long time and I was super lonely. And that event changed my life. That was when I decided that I wanted to do the business. So when someone says they're going to do something and they don't do it, don't give up on them. Don't let that, don't make up a story in your head that see, they just don't want to do it. Okay. Keep dripping on them, keep showing up for them, keep encouraging them, keep inviting them to things. You guys, searching and flipping over all those cups that I talked about in the beginning. And if you missed the beginning, go back and listen to it. But flipping over those cups sometimes can feel tedious when we have a negative mindset about flipping over cups. But when we have a mindset like Jess just said, that you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it to impact others, not because you like it, but because you love other people, that is when the magic flows and happens. And so keep turning over the cups and stones, Carly.
I just want to add to that too, because Melissa, one of the things I like to do is after I give out the shout out challenge, I will give it a day or 2. And then I will say something like, hey, will you let me know when you post that so that I can comment and support you with a question mark? You know what I mean? And then 2 days or, 3 days later, say something like, hey, I'm going to make sure that once you post that, I have some of my team leaders who will be able to comment so that it will show more, or a couple days after that, then it's like, hey, did I tell you it's best to post a picture with it or something, just kind of do that. So I'm kind of playing dumb, but not saying, are you going to post? Are you going to post? Are you going to post? So that's kind of some ways that I like to just keep the ball rolling with that to help them post. But that does happen, Melissa. As soon as Nicole read that question, I was literally like, and they don't do it. Yeah, that does happen for sure. But that's just some of the things that I like to do, just a heads up.
I love that soft follow-up. When you post, just let me know so I can comment so I don't miss it. It's such a soft way of following up, right? Or sometimes I will just straight out be like, do you want me to help you write something up? Because sometimes people they're not as creative as you when it comes to maybe writing. And they're like, I don't know how to write a post. They're not, look at how many people actually go and write up long posts. Most people don't. They'll share something or, they'll post about their kids. But when it comes to posting about themselves, honestly, they're insecure about it and they don't know how to post and they don't know how to take a selfie and they're nervous about it. And so sometimes it takes can I write, if I wrote something up, could you edit it to sound more like you and post it? Would that make it easier for you? Something like that, right? And then I'll have I have in my notes on my phone, just little saved things. And sometimes I find a good one. Yeah. Okay. Here. Sometimes I find a good one that kind sounds like them. And other times I'm like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to write something that I think sounds like them because I know them and that doesn't sound like them. So sometimes you just have to kind of go with that where you're helping them more because they don't know what they're doing. So anyways, I hope that helps. I know we went over, but I feel like this was good. I hope it was good. I hope this was helpful. And Carly's going to post her incredible verbiage and Emily's the notes that you took on Emily's silver, post that, and I'll share that in my thread too. And just know, if you haven't earned the Lulu card yet, you can. You guys go and post every single day, post stories, especially if you haven't been doing that. I guarantee you, if you started posting every single day about someone's story right now, you could get some traction. Okay. So lean into that. And thank you so much for joining the call today. Oh, shoot. I want to make sure I answer everyone's questions. Thank you, Nicole. Great info on the mindset. Thank you for Jess for the great insight about pivoting, and Carly, great info on creating silvers and how to ask everyone. I got to run. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Just want to make sure we didn't miss anyone. Love you guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here next week.